Hello, and hello. Good evening from quarantine time. Actually, good evening in this crisis. Right now, the time is quarantine time. It's quarantine hours, quarantine minutes, and quarantine seconds as I'm getting online as of now. Alright, so today is class number 2. And as I've promised you guys that I will try to get online, even if it's for 5 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I don't know. So what we are going to see today, what we are going to learn today. Yesterday was the first class. It was very technical, very dry. Many people asked me a lot of questions later in the night. So I called them on the phone and I explained them, and there are still a lot of questions which I can address today, but I don't want to. I really don't want to do it because I want to do something different. Maybe tomorrow I can address the questions about the yesterday class. So I just want to go real practical, so your interest remains in the video and you can see how things really progresses. So today is basically about off-camera flash, right? So this is the basic setup. Like you have one flash, you have dome diffuser, you have these gels. What these gels does, I'll explain them later. Simple camera and a prime lens. You can use whatever lens you want. And by the way, this video is more specifically about Nikon flash creative live CLS system, creative, those CLS. What CLS stands for? Even I forget, man. I'm getting old. Anyways, creative lighting system. Yeah, creative lighting system, CLS from Nikon. I personally believe Nikon have the best flash system in the world, and this is one of the 2 reasons I'm still using Nikon. Why? Because of the flash system. So why I love about Nikon flash system, I'll show you in a second, is basically I can operate this flash, all right, without any radio trigger, and I can show you that even I don't have line of sight. I'll show you practically today, when even I don't have the line of sight, I can still trigger that flash. How? I'll show you. Even I don't need any remote trigger over here, I don't need any remote trigger over here, and I still able to fire this flash over there without any line of sight connection. How? We'll see about that. Well, it's just a simple Nikon flash. Okay, you have these different type of menus. Here there's off. You turn it on. There's a screen. There's turn it on. You put this flash on the top of your camera, and it behave accordingly. Whatever the modes you are going to select. I just press the mode. This is SB900. You can check SB800, SB700, SB910, SB5000. They have all these different kind of menus. You can go through any of them without any hesitation. So I just press it. It's TTL. I can rotate the dial. So whatever the aperture is there, based on the aperture that I'm going to set on the camera, and the ISO, the flash power will be adjusted accordingly. Press it again. Is GN number. GN number is guide number. I will paste a link in the description later at the end of the video what GN number is. It's very easy, you will love it. Next, it's manual. Now I know everybody shoot in manual. They put the power on 164, 116. They start somewhere from 116, and then based on the exposure that they get, they increase the power or adjust the distance of this flash from the model or from the subject they are shooting. That's the typical. But I don't shoot manual. I hardly shoot manual flash. I always try to shoot. By the way, that's repeating flash. What it is it took me a lot of time to understand what that thing is. I will explain later on. Consider this as an advanced course of flash photography. we are not going to talk about it today. So mode, I shoot TTL. What TTL means? Through the lens. How it works, I will explain later on. So right now, I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to just simply going to mount at the top of the camera, lock it on, bang, bang, bang. It works, right? But I cannot go like this. I have to show you guys how the exposure was in the camera before I put this flash on the top of the camera, all right? And then I'll show you after putting this flash on the camera how the exposure changes, right? Let's do it. Okay, let's start. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I have to tilt up the scene. Yeah, I'm in quarantine and I am shooting this corridor. Okay, I'm going to take off this flash right now. Okay, wait. All right, so what exactly I have? Okay, I'm shooting at, let's say f5, let's say 5.6, and I'm shooting at 40 and I am at ISO 200, right? ISO 200, shutter speed, it's 40, 5.6, okay? I'm going to take an exposure, wait for it, okay? I just focus it, click, it's dark, as expected, ISO 200, okay? ISO 200, 1/40th of the second, 5.6, this is I was getting, right? Okay, nothing fancy. Now how I'm going to fix it? Very easy. Okay, lock it. Okay, and this is where the funny thing is going to happen. I have to put this from the off, I have to put this thing to on. So you see it's on TTL, balance, and it's -2 exposure. I don't have to do -2. Let's start with 0. Okay, the moment I'm changing the flash exposure composition, the distance changes. This is how the flash works. All right, okay, again. So by the way, my flash is really directing in the front. So what I'm going to shoot will in this area. Let's see how it goes. Okay. All right. Okay. Why it's blue? Because of my mistake. All right. I have changed the white balance. I messed up with the white balance. All right. This is, and it shows it's kind of overexposed. See, it shows it's overexposed. Forget about this and let me delete. This was the original exposure without flash, and this is the exposure with flash. And what happened is I did nothing. I didn't set the flash exposure. Flash picked the scene automatically over there, and it adjusted its power accordingly based on the ISO, shutter speed, and aperture which I dialed in, and it adjusted the flash power and it gives you the scene. All right, I really didn't do anything. Check the flash, it's on TTL, right? It's on the TTL. Balance flash, focal plane, FP is for focal plane, BL means balance. It tried to balance the flash. All right, and TTL is means through the lens. Now, for some people, this is kind of overexposed image, which is right. But if you can see, it basically adjusts all the way up to the wall, which is like 20 feet or maybe 30 feet all the way down. All the way down. It's around 30 feet or maybe more. So flash, what it did, it basically adjusts the power to hit all the way down and balance the flash. This is how good the flash is. Okay, and even you can say, I said 30 feet, look, it's 11 meters. So up to 11 meters, it can cover easily. So 11 meter means 33 feet. All right, and this is exactly what the distance is, and it perfectly exposed. Now this is, for me, it's kind of overexposed, so I have to tone down the flash exposure a little. It's very easy. I'm going into the menu. All right, I'm going to the flash exposure, and this is what flash exposure is, and I'm going to just dial one stop, 1 UV, simple, and press OK. That's it. Okay, it's down. Now look what happened. Okay, here is the exposure. This is overexposed, this is much controlled. Let me take another one. This is dark, you see, the wall over there, it's dark, and compared to this image, so I basically reduce the power over here. Now what's going on? I did nothing. I was just only playing with the flash exposure by dialing it down from the flash directly, and camera basically taking the exposure. The flash over here just following the command which is coming from the camera body. How? Okay, how TTL works, right? Let me explain how TTL works. What happening is, you already set the ISO, shutter speed, and aperture over here. This is what's going on. Okay, you already set all these parameters: ISO 200, shutter speed 140, 5.6. Okay, and the flash is in TTL mode. So over here, TTL mode, right? So what exactly happening? The flash fire twice. How do I know? I'll show you. Flash fire twice. Okay, and in this twice, the first, what it happens when you press this camera, the shutter over here, it tells the flash that, okay, I fired, now it's your job to expose the scene. So what flash does, it fires a pulse over there. The flash pulse goes over there, reflects, shines the image, came back from into the lens to the sensor, and sensor get this information, and it blends, it put that value of whatever the exposure it coming through the lens and onto the sensor. It take that exposure, put into a blender, okay, and it also take the input of the this ISO, shutter speed, aperture into the same blender and mix it. And after mixing that blender, it comes up with the value. It comes up with two things. The camera comes up with two things. What? The first, it's an exposure value of the flash, and also at what time the flash needs to fire. So the camera then tells to the flash these two values after getting the first flash, that, hey, listen to me, you fired the first flash, it came to me, I found it that you have to lower down your exposure, or you have to adjust your exposure of certain degree, and you have to fire after X amount of time. Flash take this input from the camera and it says, all right sir, I'll do it accordingly. And then flash adjusts its power based on whatever the camera tells it, and it waits for a certain amount of time, and then it fires the final exposure which you see. Now this whole communication happens in microseconds that you don't even feel that it happened. Let me show you how it happens. Okay, first off, I have to adjust the shutter speed. Look what happened. I'll put the exposure, let's say 2 seconds. Okay, and then I have to go f16. Okay, now what happens? the flash is still 0 0. I have to adjust the exposure back to 0. Okay, right here in flash is saying 16 f16 because I adjusted over here. Okay, so whatever I'm going to adjust the aperture, it also reflects on the flash, and it also changes the distance of the flash accordingly. All right, now watch how two exposure happens, what I explained already. Okay, I'll try to show you guys so you can see. 2 seconds. See? You see? Let me show it again. Wait. All right, look what happens. First exposure. Look. This is the final exposure. See? 2 exposure, and once you increase the shutter speed, it happens so rapidly. Look. I did nothing, I just changed the shutter and all this. Look what happened. This is what happened. It happened so quickly. So 2 flash exposure happens for every single frame you take using a flash on the camera. Now let's talk about off-camera flash. All right. Okay, I'm putting this thing down and I want to show you something. Look, this is a simple flash. Okay, it has a sensor in it. Okay, that sensor is over here in Nikon. This is that sensor. Some people think, okay, this is the sensor. No, this is not the sensor. It basically gives the focus support as a focus assist lamp. Once you put on the camera, it basically throw a beam on the subject so you can lock the focus. The real sensor is over here, this small window. So whenever this flash gets a pulse from the camera or from the commander pulse through this small window, it fires. This is the whole idea. Okay, but what is this? This is a PCSync cable which you connect with the camera, but I'm not using it. I want to show you that this is without any radio trigger. All right, so but I cannot go and adjust the flash like this. I have to change the mode. I have to change mode to remote. Okay, and there is a master mode. In this mode, this is acts as a commander flash. So it basically going to govern the multiple flashes. You can control 1 flash, 2 flash, 200 flash, 1000 flashes using this one single piece of flash. It has 3 different groups, A, B, C. So you can control 3 different groups using this flash. But right now I want to use this flash as a remote. So I am putting this thing in a remote, and I have to take care of 2 things over here. Group. What group? Because whenever I show you in the commander, there are 3 groups, A, B, C. So you have to put a flash into a certain group in order to separate the exposure. If you are dealing with multiple flashes, this is where we need to keep them segregated, because I don't want one flash fires and the second flash is also fired with the same power. No. I want to fire one flash with one power, second flash with another power, third flash with another power. So that's why these groups are there. And in order to communicate them, I have a certain channel. There are 4 channels and 3 groups, channel 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I go on remote, I have to just tell the flash that you are in group A, channel 1. That's it. You can adjust the group over here. You see A, B, C. A, B, C, A. And press OK. Same goes with channel. Channel 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to 1. Press OK. This done. Now this flash, I will be going down, and I will be putting this thing out of line of sight of the camera, and it will fire. Okay, wait. All right, so you saw me going down the line, okay, but how we are going to fire that flash? You cannot see, it's right over there, right? You cannot see. This is what I love about Nikon CLS system, because I am using Nikon D700. It has this little pop-up flash. So what is going to happen, this small pop-up flash will fire that flash, okay? But I have to configure it. I have to configure it. How? I will go into the menu. Okay. This is the menu. I will go down into this pencil icon. In the pencil icon, I will go bracketing and flash. All right. And this is where the fun begins. By the way, you see this E1 menu? E1 menu is flashing speed. So imagine if I'm selecting this one, okay? My shutter speed cannot go above 1/258 of the second. I cannot. Let me show you. Increase, increase, increase. It's going down. It's going down. Okay, it's going up. Okay, but the moment I'm going to pop it up, look what happens over here. Look what happens over here. It backs to 250. I'm going to close it. It's 2000. But the moment I'm going to press it, it goes back to 250. Why? Because I am limiting the camera over here to 150. So I have to tell that auto AFP, auto focal plane. Once I select it, now it's nothing going to happen. Now I can shoot up to 8000 of the shutter speed. Even if I'm going to increase this pop-up, look what happens. See, it's still 2000. Check this again. See, now camera knows that I'm in a flash photography mode, and I'm going high speed sync. I can shoot up to 8000 shutter speed using this flash. Why? Because I enabled this mode. So once it's done, I have to come down to flash control for built-in flash. This is where the fun begins. I'm going again. There are different menus. Each menu defines what this small flash going to do. So I'm choosing the last option, commander mode. I'm going into the commander mode, and you can see built-in flash, group A, group B, channel. Built-in flash means you can see two bars. Two bars basically telling the camera that you will be firing, but you cannot use yourself for the main exposure. This will fire, but it will not participate, or this will not act as one of the main exposure onto the subject. I will show you that in a second. But I have to go down TTL. I already told my remote flash that it was in group A and channel 1. So I will be focusing only on group A, and I already configured the camera on channel 1. That's it. Simple. I'm already set. I will fire, and flash over there will pick up the signal, and it will expose. Look what happens. But I have to first going back. All right. I will be going to this exposure. First I have to close it, because I close it. I don't want to fire it. I want to show you how the exposure at these camera settings are. ISO 200, 1/40th of the second, f4, aperture 4.5. Okay, let me take. It's dark as expected. Now I'm going to open it. Okay, and I will be going full time manual. I don't want to focus again and again. Okay, now look what happens. Flash is opened. Look over there. And this was the forward exposure. See? You see? This was when this thing is closed, and this was when you can see the chair over there. It's right over there. The flash exposure exposed this chair because I directed the flash towards the table and the chair over there. And you hear the two beeps. Okay? First beep, the two beeps tells, this beep which ends after the exposure, it tells that the flash is ready for another exposure. If you are not hearing this beep from the flash, it means that flash is not ready. Let me show you again. See, there is a long exposure, long beep. After the long beep, now the flash is ready for exposure. Now, here is the thing. I want to increase this flash exposure. Alright? How am I going to do it? It means that I have to go down and increase the power? No way! This is the beauty of Nikon CLS system. I will just going into the menu, this same menu, I will go flash control, built-in flash, commander mode. I will go over here and this is flash comp, flash exposure compensation. I will just go and increase by 1 stop. Okay, let's go further, little extreme. I will go with 2 stops of light. I will press OK. I am good to go. This was the exposure over there. Okay, now I am expecting that the next exposure I'm going to take, it will be bright, right? Let's see. Oh my, it is bright. You see, low, this is 2 stop bright. This is 0, this is 2 stop bright. Now, I want to reduce power by 3 stops. Because this is +2, this is 0. I want to take another exposure which is further darker than this one. This was exposure 0, flash exposure composition 0, and this was flash exposure composition +2. I'm going down again, and I'm going down to -1. Okay, press OK. Done. You see, now it's dark. -1, +2. This is 0. Okay, you see that? 0, +2, -1. This is further darker than this. So in this way, I just remotely control the flash exposure compensation, right? It is as simple as that. Now you must be wondering what these things are, right? Well, these things basically changes the color temperature, and you can play with it. It's kind of 8 parts of the flash which comes with from Nikon, and it has its own characteristic, each of them having its own characteristic. I will show you some other time, but right now the whole idea of today's class is to show you guys how off-camera Nikon CLS system works. I have this another small one. This is SP700. Okay. What happened? It's like it's jammed. I will show. Okay, this one is missing. Okay, no. It looks like the batteries are done, so I have to charge them. Let me put some new batteries. Okay, it's ready to go. This flash is very good. This is also comes with the same functionality. It also has master, but it has 2 groups, not 3 groups, unlike the SB900. And it has the same functionality, TTL. It's kind of a more manual. It's over here, over on the SB. You have to go through a menus to select TTL, manual, and GN. This is in this is button right over there. So it's much quicker to switch between the TTL, manual, and GN. So I'm using the same TTL. It's a group, it's remote, so I can go into this select, and I have to go. Okay, that's going to set the zoom. Oh man, crap. Okay, I have to see. Wait. Alright, crappy. No, wait, guys. I hate when we see bloopers. This is a blooper of today's flash. What the hell? Okay. All right. So time to wrap up the video. I believe we are having technical difficulties. Houston, we have a problem. Anyways, so in today's video, I show you guys how the off-camera flash works. Let me bring my flash. Wait. Ouch. Keep watching this. One last thing before we wrap up this video. And this flash, you have also go for zoom. Zoom is basically defines how narrow or tight beam you can get, right? Like how wide and narrow beam you can see. So for example, check this out, it's 17 mm, right? Okay, so if I'm going to shoot over there with 17 mm, let's do a practical. This is 17 mm, okay? The beam is over here. So if I'm going to put this thing, let me turn the camera a little so you guys can see what I'm going to do. Okay, look what happens. All right, it's going to be difficult, but let me try. Let me see if I can do it. Wait. Okay. Look what happens. Come on. I'm one hand working, so okay, come again. Wait, one more. No, it's not firing. What the hell? Okay, finally I got something. Okay, you see the beam? It's wide. It's very wide. Okay, so I have to narrow it down. So I just want to narrow it down to 200. Okay, look what happens. When I zoom, it goes back. When I have 17 mm, it's wide, and if I'm going for 200, it goes back, so it's going to be more punchy at 200 mm. So let's see if I can get. I believe you can see the beam is quite narrow, unlike the previous attempts. So this is how you can control the beam. Unfortunately, I am single-handing doing everything by my hand, so that's causing this technical hinder, but I believe you can get the idea what I mean to say. So using this zoom, you can adjust the width of the flash beam. Firing the Nikon flashes remotely is the most easiest. Even if you put these flashes in the soft boxes, still they fire. Why? Because this thing pick up the signal from very far. There is a Joe McNally video. I'll try to find it and I'll put the link in the description of this video or later on, where you can see how efficient these units are. Now the question is, most people are going to ask why we need to go for these Nikon flashes, why we cannot go for Kodaks or Yongnuo flashes. Well, there are some personal preferences when it comes to money, because these flashes are expensive, and Yongnuo and Kodaks are much cheaper. And Kodaks basically are good in terms of providing an ecosystem where you can use a single Kodak flash like this, and even you can fire 8200 or 8600 format from Kodaks. Like you can fire the studio strobes using the Kodaks flashes. So Kodaks, they really built up a very nice ecosystem, but there is a limitation for everything. Like for example, if I go with repeating flashing mode, and the Kodaks cannot go more than 4 Hz, this can go up to more than 4 Hz. So imagine if you are doing some creative shoot where you need the repeating flash frequency around 10 flashes per second or 20 flash per second, like tuck 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 tuck. You see, this is where the Kodaks not going to help you. But the question is, how many of you are really up for this kind of shoot where you really need this kind of creative work? So if you want to do creative work, you have to go with branded flashes. If you have any assignment, anything corporate assignment which require one click, one shoot, then you can go with any flash. But firing the flashes remotely and having a complete camera compatibility with the camera ecosystem, this is where I always recommend branded flash. So time to wrap up, guys. I thought to go and do some hands-on clicking with you guys for flash. So today class was about the flash system. Tomorrow I'll try to come up with something new, hopefully which you have never experienced before, or I don't know. It's quarantine time. We have to learn the basics, even we have done it 1,000 times before. Need to kill the time. And stay safe, stay blessed. Take care. Bye.